You're listening to Uncoupled and Unfiltered, the show for people smart enough to get out of the wrong relationship and bold enough to do it without losing their damn minds. Hosted by Ksenia Mensch, a divorce strategist and straight-talking badass, this podcast is your no-fluff, no-shame, take-control guide to surviving litigated divorce with clarity, guts, and zero regrets. Let's get into it. Here's Ksenia.
You're listening to Uncoupled and Unfiltered. And today I want to be a little more relaxed, less official, because I want to share a personal story that happened to me a few days ago and the thoughts that were provoked based on that. And see, I'm sure things like that happened to you and what your conclusions were once you went through similar exercise. So here's what happened. A couple days ago, I just finished working out at the gym and I left the gym and was on my way to the car. And then I hear somebody is trying to get my attention. So right before I was crossing the road, I turned around. I see a young man approaching me. He's like, I know, like late 20s. And I'm like, maybe I dropped something. Maybe he wants to ask something. I don't know. Okay, hey, how can I help? And he comes up to me and he just says, Hey, I just want to let you know, I did not know perfection exists until now. And I was so taken aback. First, I didn't expect anything like that just come out of his mouth, period. But then I just kind of looked at him like, oh my gosh. I'm like, thank you so much. And that was it. He said, you're welcome. And we went our separate ways. I, it made my day. Like, I was pretty fucking cool to hear something like that, especially like you just worked out, you're feeling good, dopamine is pumping. And so what happens when we're feeling great, you want to share it with your friends, right? So they can be excited for you and you just want to almost like spread this positivity around you. And that's what I did. I shared with some of my friends. And the responses I got went into two camps. One camp was like, fuck yeah, you deserve it. I mean, look at you. You're so amazing. Of course, it's just a confirmation. Amazing, amazing. Um, and another camp was, wow, that's so cheesy. And I was so perplexed by differences in my friends' responses. And when I heard it's cheesy, it made me question me. And I'm like, am I that naive? Am I that gullible that I did not see that as cheesy? Because to me, I mean, again, I took it as a compliment. It didn't seem the guy was sarcastic because if it was sarcastic, I would be like, yeah, piss off, we're good. But he just came up to say something nice to another human. How many times we're seeing something and we're thinking like, oh my gosh, she looks nice. Oh my gosh, you look great, whatever. But we never say anything like this, right? We just kind of mental note and that's it. But we know when we mention something to another human, it makes their day. So in my opinion and my interaction with that young man was he just wanted to say something nice. That was on his mind. And I started going the situation, started ruminating over it, and I'm like, am I really that gullible? But it dampened my mood. And then as I was going through that, I realized no, I was right. I didn't think there was any other intention but to say something nice. I mean, okay, I think he thought I was attractive, and so he wanted to say something nice. But he didn't try to get my phone number. He didn't try to get my name. He literally just said it and we went our separate ways. It was just a message. But what made me think, who are your true friends? And why some of who you thought your friends were, they can't celebrate those things with you. Even if you thought it was cheesy, why don't you say, heck yeah, that's awesome. You go get it, girl. Why do you feel you need to dampen that happy moment? For what? Why is that? Is it because It didn't happen to you? Or is it because you don't want somebody to outshine you? And are these then your true friends? That's kind of where my dilemma is. I know I like to celebrate my friends' successes, regardless of where I'm at in life. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. While I know a lot of people, they get jealous, they get the feeling of maybe being not enough. I do not know, but it's the insecurities that I think start kicking in that create that sort of response. And that's what made me question, who are my true friends then? And trust me when I say, I don't like yes men. I don't. Like my friends, if I fuck shit up, call me out on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't need you to constantly say, oh, you, my gosh, you're amazing. You do things great. No, I'm a human. I mess things up all the time, but that's how we learn, right? And knowing that you mess things up, that's what makes us human. And that's what makes us, if you're willing to look at yourself, that's what makes you evolve and understand yourself better and also understand how it um, affects others around you and understand, you know what, no, I didn't like this experience. I'm not going to do it again. That's what we learn from mistakes. We learn from mistakes way more than we learn from victories. So to me, I did not understand that reaction from my friends because I started doubting myself. My mood was gone, my good mood that that guy just created for me was gone. And here I am sitting and pondering what's wrong with me and how come I didn't see that as cheesy? Because I did, and I still don't. And I realized that, you know what? Not every friend is your friend, and not everyone is celebrating your wins, your happy moments, whatever the case is. And I think that's one way how we can distinguish friends from foes. Who is there with us when shit hits the fan, and who can celebrate our moments without putting us down, just because we're feeling good? Who can do it with us? And I think that creates that X-ray vision to understand who is now allowed in your close circle and who is not. And what was interesting, I have two teenage sons, and I was curious to see their perspective. So I asked my one of my sons, and I'm like, here's what transpired. What are your thoughts? You're a young man. So if you did that to a girl, what would go through your head? And what he responded with was very interesting. He said two things. Number one, he said, Mom, when somebody gives you a compliment, even if it can be a cheesy one, it's like take it at face value. Unless there is sarcastic undertone to it, just take it at face value. Say thank you, and that's it. Somebody wanted to make you feel good. Accept it, receive it. Another thing he said, he applauded and said, good for the friends who said, heck yeah, you deserve it. That, he said, was a great response. The other one, the cheesy one, my son thought about it and he said, that was not cool. He's like, that's not really a friend, Mom. And to me, the fact that the teenager can see that, and that's where two thoughts that he shared with me. And that's exactly how I actually felt during the moment and after. To me, that's very telling, very, very telling. But it makes me sad that people who I thought were there with me, for me, were my friends, they can only be my friends when it works for them or when there is something I can do for them, whether it makes them feel better about themselves, whether I can come in and just improve their day just by saying something right, you know? But they're not the same way they're for you. They're there for you only when it works for them. And when you think about the divorce, it's same thing, right? When you go through divorce, you start seeing friends and foes. You start seeing people who are there for you. You can cry on their shoulder for a thousandth time, and they're gonna be, we gotcha, we gotcha. Come on, bring it. We'll talk. We'll talk you through it. We'll listen. We'll support. And then there are foes who were there, but then they start being like, oh, I just want to be neutral. I know your ex, so I kind of don't want to take sides. Or they're just not there. Well, that's too much to handle. I'm sorry, I don't want to be in the middle of this. Even though I'm your friend, I just don't want to get involved in this. And it's almost like a splash of freezing water in your face because you start seeing people for who they are, just by what they say and what they do, right? So now I'm curious with my listeners, what situations were you in where you started seeing clearly who your friends are and who are your foes? To me, I feel like it's been years in the making. I did lose touch with a lot of people just because I realized it just doesn't work for me anymore. As I'm evolving in this situation, as I'm going through these experiences, and as I am learning what works for me, I dropped a lot of people, a lot of them outside of my life, of my circle, because it no longer works for me. I cannot keep giving if I'm not receiving back, and I also do not want to have a conditional friendship. We're only friends when things are good. Or maybe we just grew apart. Like I went one direction because I that's where I'm at, and you went another one, and that's also totally okay. But as I'm getting older, as I am seeing more clearly, I notice how small my circle has gotten, and I love it. Like I have two friends that I know will go to war for me. And again, it's not conditional friendship. They're giving me as much as I'm giving them. And I feel I'm not gonna get backstabbed. I'm not gonna be get betrayed. And that happened to me in the past too. I had to let go of friends who betrayed me, and that was rough. But again, fixes our vision. So I wonder, what experiences have you guys had that, yeah, it hurt, but it made you see clearly, and at the end of the day, you're in a much better place right now, and you're thinking, thank God this happened. And this happened at that specific time, so I don't have to experience something more drastic later. If you don't mind, share in the comments. I would love, love, love to hear your story. And that's what I want to talk about today. Thank you so much for listening to Uncoupled and Unfiltered. And until next time, see ya.
That's it for this episode of Uncoupled and Unfiltered. If you're loving the raw truth and practical takeaways, do the badass thing and rate and review the show wherever you listen. It helps more good people find their way out of the chaos. And check the show notes. Yeah, we actually put some useful stuff in there. Resources, links, tools, go grab what you need. Until next time, don't settle, don't shrink, and don't look back.